There were miles I can't recall, just trying not to fall apart, chasing things that didn't last, running hard from my own past. I wore confidence like clothes, but underneath nobody knows how close I came to letting go. Further down that road, I said things I can't erase, seen regret I couldn't face, took my chances, lost my way, left some debts I couldn't pay. Still somehow through all that mess, through the weight I can't confess, something held me when I slipped, but wouldn't loosen grip. I didn't walk alone, even when I thought I did. Through every place I shouldn't have been, I stood by a hospital bed, heard the quiet words they said, held a hand and watched it fade. Nothing left but what we prayed. There were questions with no sound, heavy silence all around. Still somehow inside that room, peace would break through. So if my time comes sooner than I planned, and I let go of all I've held in hand, I didn't walk alone. Not a single step I've made, through every loss and every grave, I wasn't alone. Proud of everything, but I've seen what mercy brings. It don't wait for you to be strong, it meets you where you've gone. I didn't walk alone, from the first breath to this day. Even when I lost my way, I wasn't alone. I didn't walk alone. And when I reached that final mile, I'll just rest there for a while. I'm going home. Looking back now, out my desk on a Friday noon, cardboard box in an empty room. 40 years in a steel-toed pair, now just silence in that chair. Drove back home in a quiet truck, radio low, feeling stuck. Man gets older, world moves on, hard to tell where you belong. Woke up Monday with nowhere to go, sat on the porch, watched the wind blow. Hands that built and fixed and saved, now just resting, feeling age. I told myself, you had your run, maybe now your time is done. But a voice cut through that noise, you're still mine. Yeah, you're still mine. Yeah, you're still mine. When the world don't need your name, I still call you mine. Not by title, not by pay, not by what you gave away. Through every season, every line, you're still mine. I thought worth was what I made, measured in the checks I saved. Thought a man was what he earned, now I see how much I learned. Grandkids laughing in the yard, wife still holding my scarred heart. Maybe losing that old role saved something in my soul. You're still mine. Yes, you're still mine. When your strength ain't what it was, you're still mine. Not by youth or by acclaim, not by fortune, not by fame. Before you worked and after time, you're still mine. I ain't done till heaven said, I ain't through with borrowed breath. If these hands can fold in prayer, then I've still got purpose there. You're still mine. Oh, you're still mine. When the paychecks fade away, you're still mine. Through the aging, through decline, through the closing of that sign, before the grave and past the line, you're still mine. You're still mine. You're still mine. So I'll sit here on this porch tonight, not afraid of fading light. If I've got breath and borrowed time, I'm still yours. You're still mine. violence in my chest, smiles waiting at the airport gate, but I never really left. Crowds and noise and Friday light, still hear echoes in the night. Some things a man can't unsee, they just don't let him be. Tried to drown it in a bottle, try to work it off my back. Tried pretending I was fine, like I didn't crack. Mama said, son, just pray. I said, God don't want this way. Figured heaven draws a line at a past like mine, but in the middle of a shaking hand, in the wreckage of who I am, you didn't turn away when I couldn't face the day, when the guilt was loud and strong, when I swore I'd gone too far wrong. I thought mercy had a limit, thought I crossed that line, but you didn't turn away from a heart like mine. Sat alone in the back row seat, didn't sing, just felt the beat. Preacher talked about prodigal sons, I wondered if I was one. Tears fell, I couldn't stop, like something finally broke the lock. Not proud of the man I've been, but I ain't hiding it again. If forgiveness is for the weak, and that's the kind I need. You didn't turn away, didn't flinch, didn't sway. Saw the worst I've ever done, and still called me son. So when I thought my story was through, when shame said I was you, I ran, you stayed. I don't move like I used to move. Takes a while to lace these shoes. Morning light through a quiet room carries more than it used to. There's a weight in the years gone by, names I speak and wonder why. Some still here, some long gone, still I carry on. I've been stubborn, I've been blind, turned away more than a few times. Said I'd figure this life alone, built a world of my own. But every road that let me fall, every night beneath those stars, something kept on pulling me through. Even when I never knew, he never left my side. Through the lows and through the highs, through the truths I try to hide, he stayed near. He never left my side. When I ran and when I tried to live this life with all my pride, he stayed near. I've held hands at hospital beds, heard the things that doctors said, watched a goodbye I wasn't ready for, felt my whole world torn. There were nights I couldn't pray, didn't have the words to say. Still somehow in the silence deep, peace would cover me. So if my voice begins to fade and I don't have the strength to say he never left my side, even then he'll be my guide. When I cross that final line, he'll be near. He never left my side, not for one step of this ride. And I see it clearer now, through the years, I ain't lived the perfect way, got some debts I couldn't pay, but mercy walked me through it all, never let me fall. He never left my side, from the first breath to this time, through every wrong and every right, he stayed near. He never left my side. And when I close my eyes tonight, I won't fear the other side. He'll be there, looking back, I see it clear. All along, he was here. I've been sitting on this porch, watching days roll by real slow. Got a past I can't ignore, places only I would know. Some were good, some went wrong, some I carried far too long. Thought I had to fix it all before I heard the call. There were years I chased my name, tried to outrun guilt and shame, built my walls up tall and wide, kept the truth outside. But every time I hit that end, when I broke and couldn't mend, something met me in that place, didn't turn away. Right where mercy found me, in the middle of my fall, when I had no strength at all, it found me. Right where mercy found me, not when I was standing tall, but down low against the wall, it found me. I've seen friends just fade away, heard the words no one can say, held on tight and let them go. That's just life, I know. There were nights I questioned why, stared at heaven dry, still somehow without a sound, peace would come around. So if this road runs out tonight, and I step beyond that line, right where mercy found me, that's exactly where I'll stand, not by my own steady hand. It found me right where mercy found me. I don't need to understand, I just know the way I am. It found me. Yeah, I ain't stronger than my past, I just learned what really lasts. It wasn't me that held on tight, I was held that whole time. Right where mercy found me, that's the story I'll still tell. Pulled me up when I just fell. It found me right where mercy found me. And when I say my last goodbye, I won't feel what's on the other side. It found me. Didn't earn it, didn't plan it, but it reached me right where I was.
I pray for change on a Monday night. Tuesday looked the same, bills still stacked on the table, nothing moving in my name. I said, Lord, are you listening? 'Cause I don't see no sign. Heaven felt so quiet in this worried heart of mine. I sang the songs on Sunday, shook every preacher's hand, said God is good with a smile, but I didn't understand. Why the door stayed closed, why the tears still came, why the fire I used to feel didn't burn the same. But just because I couldn't see it didn't mean you weren't there. Just because I couldn't feel it didn't mean you didn't care. You were working all alone, even when I thought you were gone. Behind the silence, behind the weight, behind every nod yet and too late, I was doubting, holding on. But you were working alone. One day I look back over all the roads I walked through. Every closed door saved me from something I never knew. That job I didn't get, that move that fell apart, every broken season was shaping up my heart. Now I see what I couldn't have, now I know what I didn't know. You were building something better underneath the no. You were working all along, through the right and through the wrong, through the nights I lost my song, through the days that felt too long. I was weak, but you were strong. You were working all along. When I couldn't see your hand,
You were working,
when I couldn't understand,
you were working,
in the waiting, in the pain,
nothing wasted.
nothing vain. I thought you left me on my own, but you were working on. You were working all alone. Yes, you were working all alone. Every tear and every fall, you were there through it all. Now my doubt has turned to song. You were working all I thought heaven was silent. Turns out it was just patient. You were working all alone. I pray for doors to open wide, watching crows one by one. Asked you for a straight, clear road, got miles I didn't want. I thought silence meant goodbye, thought heaven hadn't moved on, but I was wrong.
There were years that felt like dust, plans that fell apart, friends who drifted out of reach, questions in my heart. I said, Lord, are you listening? Did I wait too long? But I was wrong. You were working all along. Even when I thought you don't, in the quiet and the slow, in the know I didn't know, to every right and every wrong, you were working all along. Looking back with older eyes, I can finally see what I called a broken road was shaping me. Every tear and every scar made my faith more strong. It took so long. You were working all alone, through the nights that felt so long, when I couldn't feel your hand, when I couldn't understand. I was never walking wrong. You were working all along. If you gave me what I asked for then, I'd be someone else today. What I called delay back then was mercy in its way. Before I knew to hold on strong, through the way and through the pain, through the loss and through the gain, now I see where I belong. You were working all alone. Soul in heaven feels quiet tonight, and you're tired of being strong. Take it from this silver year. He's working all along. Sunrise ain't as early now. Takes a minute just to stand. Coffee shakes a little in these weather working hands. Got more yesterdays than tomorrows. That's just how it goes. But I ain't counting losses. I'm counting what I know. I've buried friends I thought would stay. Held my babies on their first day. Made mistakes I can't undo. Watch the Lord bring me through. This life ain't been all easy, but it's been honest, it's been real. And through every turning valley, He's been closer than I feel. So when the evening shadows fall, and I hear that quiet call, no fear in my chest. I've talked to him too many years to doubt what comes next. If I close my eyes one night and don't wake the morning sun, that just means my wandering down here is done. I'll leave these boots by the bedside and stop into the light. When my work is done and my race is won, when this old heart finally slows, I'll go home. Through mercy, wide and storm, through love that's led me on, I'll trade this faithful side. When my work is done, tell my children, don't you cry. There's no goodbye, just see you by and by. Every prayer we pray down here ain't wasted. They disappear. When my work is done and my song is sung, if my last breath speaks his name, that's enough. I walk this road long and slow, and there's one thing that I know: he'll be waiting at the door. When my work is done, I ain't rushing, I ain't afraid, just trust him. When my work is done, I'm going home. I'm going home. A coffee cup still on the shelf. Been 6 months now by myself. The side of the bed stays cold. Silence louder than it ought to be. Neighbors said time will heal, but time don't cook and time don't feel. I bow my head but I don't speak. Too tired to be strong, too weak to weep. I almost blamed you, I'll be honest. Almost said you took too much. Almost packed this Bible away, 'cause faith fell out of touch. Church bells rang, I stayed home. Didn't want to sit alone. Didn't want to hear he's good when nothing in my life felt good. But in that chair by the window light, in the middle of another long night, you sat with me. Didn't rush, didn't preach, didn't fix what I couldn't read. You sat with me in the quiet, in the ache, every breath my heart could barely take. When I had nothing left to give, you just sat with me. No lightning bolt, no big display,
Not the kind that shouts out loud, but the kind that sits when grief gets proud. I still miss her every day. Some mornings I still pray, but I ain't drowning like before. Something's holding me at the shore. You didn't take the pain away, but you stayed. You sat with me through the tears nobody sees, through the nights I dropped to my knees. You sat with me when I had questions with no reply, when I just stared at the sky. I didn't have the strength to pray, but you sat with me anyway. And maybe that's the miracle. Not that you stopped the hurt, but that you stepped into it. Not that you changed the story, but you refused to leave the pain. You sat with me, closer than the air I breathe, held together what was left of me. You sat with me, and if that's all you ever do, just stay when I'm breaking through. That's enough for this old heart to see. You sat with me. She's home now, and I'm still here. And I ain't alone. You sat with me.
There's a bottle down in Murphy's bar, still knows my face, knows my car. There's a number in my phone I shouldn't call when I'm alone. Old anger knocking at my door, says you've been here before. Some nights it talks so sweet, pulling at my weary feet. I ain't standing on a mountain high, I'm just trying not to lie, trying not to cross that line I've crossed too many times. I made promises and tears, broke them all through the years. But something's different deep inside. I'm done with foolish pride, one day at a time. That's how I'm walking this line. Not tomorrow, not next week, just this breath, just this fight, just tonight. If grace is strong and mercy is kind, then I'll make it one day at a time. Got calluses on my knees now,
learning slowly how to bow. Ain't ashamed to say I need help beyond the strength in me. My wife still looks me in the eye after all my lows and highs. The kind of love don't come cheap. It's something I wanna keep one day at a time. I ain't crossing that line. When temptation calls my name, I whisper back, not today. I don't trust this heart of mine, so I live one day at a time. I don't ask for perfect years, I just ask for steady years. If I fall, I'll rise again, but I ain't going back to then. One day at a time, sweet Jesus, one day at a time. Keep my feet from slipping back, keep my heart on track. If I wake up and still find I made it through one more night, that's enough. Oh, one day at a time. Tomorrow's worries can stay behind. I've got mercy for tonight. If I keep this heart alive, I'll live one day at a time. One day at a time. I've got lines upon this face, stories time could not erase. Some I'm proud of, some I hide, some still ache a little inside. I walk through joy, I walk through pain, sunshine bright and cold hard rain. Made my plans and watched them fall, thought I knew it all. There were seasons I ran wild, seasons I was just a child. Times I prayed with folded hands, times I didn't understand. I said words I can't take back, took some roads off the track. Still somehow through right and wrong, I kept holding on. All my years, through the laughter and the tears, through the doubt and through the fear, yeah, you were here. All my years, even when my faith was thin, even deep down in my sin, yeah, you were here. parts of life. Watched my babies turn to grown, felt the weight of getting old. There were nights I feared the end, wondered where this road would bend. But every time my strength wore thin, peace would settle in. All my years, when the picture wasn't clear, when my prayers felt lost in air, you were here. All my years, through the battles I fought within, through the mess I wandered in, you were here. I don't stand here claiming clean, I've been weak more than I've seen, but mercy don't scare easy, man. It stays till the end. All my years, from the first cry to right here, from my youth to silver hair, you were here. All my years, and when my final breath draws near, I won't walk that valley in fear. You'll be here. I've got lines upon this face, but I've seen amazing grace. All my years, you were here. Walk the road I chose myself, put my Bible back up on the shelf. Sundays turned to working days, slowly drifted miles away. Told my soul I'd be just fine, didn't need no holy line. But late at night when lights went low, there was a truth I couldn't let go. I shook my fist at what went wrong, said, if you're there, why's this so long? Close my ears, close my eyes, build my doubts up twice the size. Still somehow through all that mess, through my pride and stubbornness, every time I hit that dam, you never left. No, you never left.
drown that quiet call with louder nights and crowded halls. Laughed too hard, stayed out too late, blamed it all on luck and fate. But mercy has a patient way of waiting through a man's delay. And right there in my worst defeat, I felt forgiveness at my feet. You never left, no, you never left. When I ran from what was true, you were closer than my breath. I was lost inside myself, buried under guilt and death. I let go, but you never left, yeah. Could've wrote me off for good, could've done what I thought you should, could've let me drift away till there was nothing left to say. But love don't walk out that door, not like I've seen before. You never left, no, you never left, yeah. When my faith was hanging thin, when my heart was out of breath, I don't stand here innocent, I stand here heaven sent. I strayed so far, but you never left, yeah. You never left, you never left. Now I bow my head at night, not because I got it right, but because I finally see you stayed through all of me. I walked away, but you never left. Slammed a few doors in my time, crossed some holy lines, told myself I didn't care if you were even there. Took your name in empty ways, turned my back for better days, ran as far as I could see, thought I'd finally broken free. But freedom felt a lot like change. Different town, same old pain. Every road I wandered down led me back to sacred ground. There were nights I felt that call, soft as rain against the wall. Didn't matter where I'd be, you kept coming after me. Yeah, you kept coming after me.
about. I ran hard, but I could see you kept coming after me. Not with thunder, not with shame, not with anger, not with blame. Just a mercy strong and slow, wouldn't let my story go. Every time I hit the ground, every time I thought I'd drown, somehow love still carried me. You kept coming after me. Lord, you kept coming after me. When I swore I'd gone too far, when I wore my deepest scars, right there in my misery, you kept coming after me. I wasn't looking, I wasn't praying, I wasn't faithful, still you were staying. I wasn't worthy, I wasn't clean, but love kept walking right toward me. You kept coming after me. Yes, you kept coming after me. From my youth to silver hair, you were always right there. Now I stand here finally free. You kept coming, you kept coming, you kept coming after me. If you think you're too far gone, like you outrun heaven's song, take it from a man who tried. You can't outrun that kind of love. He'll keep coming after you. Kept coming after you. You kept coming after me. If you think you're too far gone, like you've outrun heaven's song, take it from a man who tried. You can't outrun that kind of love. He'll keep coming after you. You kept coming after me.